Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Aman Codes. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about predefined functions in set data type, right? So in previous episode, we have discussed 5 predefined functions. So in today's episode, we will continue sixth one, which is known as copy of predefined function. Syntax: set object 2 is equals to set object 1 copy of. So this copy of function will implements shallow copy. Actually, we have two types of copies. One is shallow copy, another is deep copy. So it will implement shallow copy. So in the video, list predefined functions, their copy of function is also available. At that time, I have explained what is shallow copy and what is deep copy. So this function is used for copying the content of set object 1 into set object 2. It will copy the content of set object 1. In the sense, this set object 1 content is going to copy it into set object 2. So let's see how this copy of function will implement shallow copy. Now I'm opening Python command prompt. See here. So here this is my S1. Now I'm trying to print the type of S1 and value of S1. See here. S1 comma type of S1. This is our value which is present in set object called S1 and which comes under class set, right? So now I want to copy these contents of S1 into S2. In order to do that, I have to use a predefined function of this set data type called as copy of. So let's see the syntax. S2 is equals to, this S2 is my new object, that is equals to S1 dot. This S1 is my old object, right? This is S1. I want to copy the content of this S1 into S2. So S2 is equals to S1 dot copy of. So it will implement the shallow copy. Shallow copy in the sense the address of S1 and the address of S2 are different. They are not same. So now I'm trying to print S1 and its type. See here, S1 and its type, same information. Now I'm going to declare here S2. Here also S2, see here. So initial information is the same, see here. So the both set S1 and S2 containing same elements, right? Both are comes under class set, class set. So if I add an element to S1, I'm adding an element called 34 to S1. See here, and I'm going to access S1. See here, 34 has been added, but previous S1, there is no 34, right? I'm going to add an element called 45 to S2. Let's see here. I'm trying to access S2. In previous S2, there is no value called 45. After adding 45, the S2 has been changed like this, right? So if you observe here, the S1 and S2 contains different information. It contains 34 as an element, but there is no 34. It contains 45 as an element, but here in S1 there is no 45. So this represents shallow copy. Let's see another predefined function called is disjoint. First of all, we have to know what is joint function will do. Joint in the sense whenever two sets are there. For example, 10 comma 20 comma 30. This is my set S1 and this is my set S2 is equals to say 20 comma 40 comma 50. So this S1 and S2, these both sets are known as joint sets. Why? In the sense, in these two sets, at least one element should be common. If you observe, here we have 20 in set 1 and here we have 20 in set 2. So the common elements in the both sets are 20, right? So at least one element. So we have one element common in both sets. So the both sets are comes under joint set. Okay. So opposite of this joint set is disjoint set. Disjoint set in the sense there is no common element should be there in particular two sets. So if we consider S1 and S2, if S1 has 30 and S2 has 20, right? So this S1 and S2 will comes under disjoint set. So this S1 and S2 comes under disjoint set. Why? In the sense there is no common elements between these S1 and S2 sets, right? So disjoint set in the sense no common element should be present in both the S1 and S2 sets. So let's see. Seventh predefined function is called is disjoint. Is disjoint, right? Disjoint in the sense there is no common elements should be present between two sets, right? Syntax. Set object 1 dot is disjoint of set object 2, right? So let's see this. This function returns true when there is no common elements or element in both S1 object and S2 object, in the sense set object 1 and set object 2. So here this is disjoint will return true when this element, so when this object and this object, set object 1 and set object 2, does not contains any common elements, no common elements. If the sets are contains no common elements, then it is going to print it true. If at least one common element has existed between these two sets, then it is going to return false. See here, this function returns false when there is at least one common element or elements in the both set object 1 and set object 2. So let's see how it will be worked in practical. I am declaring S1 as 10, comma 20, comma 30. S2 is equals to, see here, 20, comma 40, comma 50. So now I'm going to use the function called is disjoint. Is disjoint. See here. So 10, 20, 30. 20, 40, 50. We have a common element called 20, right? So the answer is going to be false. See here, false, right? So I'm declaring in the S1 at the place of 20, I'm declaring 60 and I'm trying to declare S1 as old only. Now see here, I'm going to do this one. S1 dot is disjoint of S2. The both sets does not contain any type of common elements. So there is no one common element also between this S2 and S1 sets. So it is going to print the answer as true. See here. So this is about is disjoint predefined function in set data type. Let's come here. The next predefined function is superset. So this function returns true when set object 1 contains all the elements of set object 2. When the set object 1, in the sense consider S1, when S1 contains all the elements that are present in S2, so then is a superset function returns true. So this function returns false when S1 object is not containing all the elements of S2 object. So whenever the S1 object has 5 elements, that 5 elements are not containing in this S2 object, then it is going to return false, which is going to return is superset is going to return false. So let's see in practical. So this is my S1, this is my S2. Now I'm going to use S1 dot is superset of S2. S1 is superset of S2, right? So there is no S2 elements in S1. So that is known as it returns false. Why it returns false? In the sense that in S1 there is no elements of S2. So this is one type of an example which returns false. So let's see how it is going to be written true. If S2 we have 10 comma 20. These entire elements, these all elements must and should present in S1. Then it is going to print a true. So S2 contains a 1020, that 1020 contains by S1, right? So it is going to print true. S1 dot is a superset of S2. See here, we got an answer as true, right? So this is another example. This is about so is a superset predefined function. You have to practice thoroughly this is a superset and is disjoint, and next upcoming predefined function called is subset. Is a subset of. So let's see the syntax. Set obj1 dot is a subset of set obj2. Let's see. This function returns a true when all elements of set object 1, see here, all elements of set object 1 are present in set object 2. These all elements must and should present in this set object 2. So then it returns true. It returns false when all elements of set object 1 are not present in set object 2. See, subset in the sense the elements should be present in superset, right? So if S1 is an subset, the elements of this S1, all elements of this S1 must and should be present in S2, right? So this is my S1, this is my S2, right? So if you consider this, when all elements of S1, so 10, 20, 30 are elements of S1, that must and should present in S2. These 10, 20, 30 elements must and should present in this. There is no elements. So in S1 we have three elements, that three elements not present in S2, right? So if I do S1 dot is subset of S2. If I do this, it is going to print a false. See here, false, right? Why? Why in the sense these all elements are not present in S2, right? So opposite of superset is a subset, right? The elements of S1 must and should present in S2. So now I'm going to declare S1 here. This is my S1 and I'm going to change my S2 as, see here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This is my S2. Whatever the elements that are present in S1, that all elements are present in S2 also. So if I do S1 dot is subset of S2, then it is going to print a true. See here, true. Yes, S1 is a subset of S2 in the sense S1 contains some elements, so that all elements are present in S2. Then it is going to say true. So this is about is a subset predefined function. Main thing is set object 1 elements must and should present in set object 2. Set object 2 is a major set. Set object 1 is an subset here. This is a subset of this. Yes, true. If the elements are all in set object 1, that should be present in set object 2, right? So this is a subset. Now let's see this union function. So let's see this union predefined function in upcoming episodes. So if you see this union, we have intersection and set difference. So with this union, intersection, set difference, symmetric difference, is symmetric difference, this all predefined functions comes under this union only. So this so 10th predefined function called union of. This union of predefined function we will see in upcoming videos. So that's all for today's episode. In today's episode, we have discussed four predefined functions of set data type, that is copy of, is disjoint of, is subset of, is superset of. So that's all for today's video. I hope you all understand. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Aman Codes. Thank you so much for watching.